Hey guys, what's up, and thank you for clicking on the video, and welcome to the part 8 tutorial in your After Effects training. And guys, in today's tutorial we're going to take a look at some of the power shortcuts, or basically I'm going to show you guys some tips and techniques that will really help you increase your efficiency and increase your speed when you are doing some After Effects work, or you are working in some of your projects when using After Effects. Alright, so let's get started. Alright guys, starting from the very beginning, people, I would like to explain the difference between the open command and the import command. Okay, now the very important thing, okay, that I insist, or basically advise my students to use is the import command. The reason being, people, that you have the ability to work with multiple compositions. Okay, now if I go to the file menu and if I do open a project, okay, it will give me a dialog box. Okay, and I can just go and I can select a project, click open, and it will be opened. Okay, I'll get my timeline and I'll get everything. Okay, but say that now I want to import another project. Alright, if I use the open command, what will happen is that I have to close my previous project, and then After Effects will tell me that yeah, now since you have closed your previous project, now you can go ahead and open. Alright, not import but open your new project. So we don't want that, people. We want to compare our different projects. Alright, so what you can do is you can go to the file menu and go to import. But if you people have been watching my previous videos, okay, or if you have been following my tutorial series, the best way that I think is for importing anything in Adobe After Effects is going to the project panel, doing a double click in the blank space or this gray area, alright, the dark gray area, and it's gonna open this dialog box which says import file. So now guys, you can go ahead and you can select your multiple projects, your multiple AEP files, that is After Effects projects. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna open the V2 and the Untitled project. Alright, actually I'm gonna deselect the Untitled project, and I'm gonna go to this project. Alright, the 0123 by dot 11, and once I click OK, what you'll notice, people, that Adobe After Effects has gone and it has imported these your two projects, alright, as folders. That's a really good thing, because what happens is you may have lots of video files, you may have some sequences, you may have some still images in a project. So that would really make your project panel real messy, and not so organized if everything was to be imported directly. So I would say that the folders are really good, and you can just click on this disclosure triangle to see what is inside the folders. And what you have to do is, people, you need to find your composition file. Okay, now as you can see, I've saved my this 0123 by 11 23.11 AEP file. I have saved my different compositions in the etc folder, which was inside this folder. So I can just do a double click in the composition, and you'll see that the composition gets loaded on its own in the composition or in the timeline. Similarly guys, if you double click on the other composition, it's gonna go and it's gonna do a multiple open of the compositions. Right, I'm gonna close this folder. I'm gonna come to the V2 AEP. I'm gonna open it, and I'm just gonna find the composition file again. And guys, if you are having trouble finding the composition file, okay, in your project, what you can do is, people, you can just reduce the size of this name. Alright, you can just keep your mouse on the very ending, okay, of the name, and you'll see that the mouse pointer changes. Click on it and drag it to the left, and that's going to reveal your type. Okay, your type menu. And guys, the type menu is really important, because it can help you identify a file. Okay, now if you see that this is a FLV file, so it is showing me, as in my type menu, it is showing me flash video. It's an MP4 file, so it's showing me QuickTime. It's a BMP file sequence, so it is showing me BMP file sequence. If it's a folder, it will show you folder. And similarly guys, if you have a composition in your project, it's gonna show you the composition, so you can easily identify your composition file. Alright, and just do a double click on the composition file, and that's gonna import it automatically into the timeline. Alright, so that's a very important thing that I think beginners should be knowing, so that once you are working with your projects, you may have some really a good hand on your project, and you can really work faster with your projects. Alright, so that's a tip, alright, from me. And I'm gonna go ahead and close all these multiple compositions, and I would want to keep only one composition. Now I'm going to increase the size of my timeline just a little bit so you guys can see all the layers that are there in my composition. Alright, now if you see guys, I was working with, and actually guys, this was supposed to be um, a dynamic link, okay, which I had created using the Premiere Pro software from Adobe company and After Effects for adding some really nice effects and timing in this project. Now I was actually making a Naruto AMV, and therefore I used After Effects for doing that, for putting some effects and all. So I ended up having lots of layers, okay, and all of these were video files. So what do you do, people, for compressing all these layers? Because if you have seen my other videos, when you want to change some layer properties, or if you want to toggle your keyframes, you have to open the disclosure triangle a lot, and you can you have to go in different things. Like if you're having a mask on your layer, you need to open that, and if you want to make some changes in it, you further need to go down under the mask one, or if you have some multiple masks, you'll be having mask 2, or if you are having like lots of effects, you may have like colorama, the lens flare, etc., or the Gaussian blur, so something like that. Then you can, and if you want to put on some really good timing, all right, you may want to go in the transform menu. So basically guys, what will happen is, you may really end up having a long list of layers in your timeline. So here are some of the tips, okay, or techniques that will help you organize or keep your timeline clean and totally layers free, so you can properly work with a particular layer. All right, now some of these things are really common, but just for explaining purposes, I'm going to start from the very beginning. Right now, I think I've probably covered this thing, but since it's a tips and techniques tutorial, I'm going to show it anyways. If you want to hide a layer, as in you want to remove the visibility of the layer from the program monitor, just remove this eyeball, okay, icon, which is right over here on the extreme left hand side, okay, or in the timeline panel. There are going to be lots of eyeballs, okay, one eyeball for every layer. If you remove the eyeball icon, you will notice that the like if you see over here, you can see that the visibility of these of this layer has just now gone. If I put the eyeball again, you'll see that the visibility comes back, so that's a good thing. The next thing, guys, is supposed to be of this audio. This basically will only be available if you have an audio attached in your video. Alright, if you don't have an audio, you cannot dim or cannot remove the visibility of the audio. The next thing, people, is supposed to be this one dot, okay, and if you keep your mouse on it, you'll see that it says solo, or basically hides all non-solo videos. Now what this means, people, and according to me, people, this solo layer or this solo command is very, very important, and it really gives you a very important basically it gives you like a good hand, a good control on your layer. Like if you are adding some color changes, or if you're applying some really good effects to some of their layers, you may really want to use this solo icon. Alright, like for example, if I want to solo, okay, or basically if I want to solo or see only this layer, if I put a check, okay, on this solo icon, you will see that like in my timeline I cannot see anything else, okay. All my layers are still there in my timeline, they are still there, but only the visibility has been removed from everything, and now guys I can only see this layer, okay, on which I have put the solo dot. Now the the really important thing about this is when you are creating some like say intro titles for yourself, alright, when you're creating them, guys, if you want to work on a particular text, or if you want to work on a particular thing, right, or a particular effect, if you want to combine the effect and or if you want to see that that how do these two layers look, because what I can do is I can actually have multiple soloed layers. Like say if I want to see what is going below this thing, alright, if I put a solo to it, guys, you'll see that, wait a sec, you'll see that this layer is also there, okay. So basically I can have lots of layers like this. Like say if I try to bring it over here and I try to solo this one also, you'll see that only these two layers are properly available to me now. And since this is on multiply, it's on linear burn, I just change the format Nothing can be visible right now because they are actually, oh yeah, actually because it is over here. If I bring this thing over here, now you'll see that how the color changed, because I'm gonna change it back to lighten so you can see. Guys, seriously. Alright, but anyways, guys, I hope you get the point. Alright, I'm gonna unsolo this, and I'm gonna do some few undos, so all my changes that I've done, just go back. The next thing, people, is supposed to be the shy. Alright, it's supposed to be a command basically which hides all your layers from your timeline. Okay, it doesn't delete them, but it hides them. Alright, now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna increase the size of my timeline once again so you guys can see all my layers. I'm gonna reduce the size of my program monitor using my scroll wheel on my mouse. And guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unsolo these layers which I just soloed them, right? And yeah, the shy icon, people, is supposed to be this one, alright, which says, which it basically looks like some kind of animal, or some kind of a person peeking out, like on top of a wall, right, and peeking through that wall. If you click on it, people, alright, what you can do is you are going to activate this solo, this, I'm sorry guys, you're going to activate the shy layer, alright, or this, you're going to actually activate the shy switch. And what you can then do is, people, you can actually shy these layers by using a button over here which is there in the timeline. There's going to be a small button right over here. Okay, I think you may want to zoom in, or as in full screen the video, because you may not be, you won't be able to see if you don't full screen the video. There's going to be a small icon right over here, where my mouse pointer is. If I click on that icon, guys, you can see that my that layer just basically disappears. And if you're wondering that where have all these layers gone, okay, they are still there. Okay, guys, they are, you can see, guys, when I'm scrubbing my time indicator, my CTI, right, you can see that there is changes happening in the program monitor, meaning that all my layers, alright, they are still there, but I cannot see them into the timeline. Now, why is that happening? That is happening because I have set the shy switch on. If I click on this shy button once again, you'll see all my layers come back. Now, this kind of a technique, guys, is really important when you are doing animation in Adobe After Effects. When you have like lots of layers, like some 30, 40, 50, 60 layers, right? When you are really working on some animation, so that time, guys, you may really want to use a shy technique, for hiding some of your layers. For example, if I want to just work on this layer, right, and it's like that I really have to go into the layer properties of this layer, and then I need to open masks, and I need to open multiple effects, alright, and make some changes. I can just remove the shy switch from this layer, and when I click on my shy button, okay, which activates the shy command, when I click on it, you'll see that all my rest of my layers are gone now, and I'm left with only this, basically giving me a lot of space in my timeline. So when I open the layer, I can go under the mask, make some changes in it. I can make some changes in the transform button, alright, or this transform command. I can make some changes in the FX as I like, and stuff like that. So the shy switch, some of the solo and eyeball icon tips over here, the open and the import command, and I think, yeah, the last thing, people, that I would really want to teach you, people, is about pre-composing, or having a composition in your timeline. Now, if you guys are wondering how can that be possible, let me show it to you. Alright, and now this kind of trick, people, is really used by the animation users, okay, of Adobe After Effects. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just increase the timeline once again, so you guys can see the layers. Right, once again, I'm gonna select the first layer. I'm gonna hold down my shift key. I'm gonna select and I'm gonna click on this last layer. Okay, that basically selects everything in the middle. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to my layer menu, and in the end, guys, okay, it's gonna be there's gonna be a command. The shortcut could be Control Shift C. It's called Pre-Compose. When you click on it, guys, it's gonna ask you the new composition name, and I'm just gonna name it, say, V2 slash dash pre, and click OK, guys, and you can see that every of my all my layers have been compressed into this one layer. Now if you take a look at the icon of this layer, it is similar to the composition we have in the project panel. So that means, guys, that we are actually having a composition file in our timeline. Now the really important use of this is, when you are having like some 50, 60, layers, like, and the reason I'm teaching you this is, like if you are working on some intro titles. I'm sorry about this. Like if you're working on some intro titles, okay, and you're really making a big intro, like say 30, 40 seconds or a 1 minute intro, like something really, really big, in which you have lots of things, okay. So you can actually use this thing saying that like if the first phase is clear or the first 5 seconds is done, right, you have like made all the changes in it, all right. So you can just pre-compose them and make it into one layer. Then you can just work on the rest of the 5 seconds, or the another set of 5 seconds, and then you can again go ahead and you can pre-compose them and name it the second phase of your intro, and similarly, guys, the third, fourth, and so on, guys. All right. And the really important thing now you have to understand, guys, that if you apply some effects, say if I go to my blur and sharpen, and I'm gonna go for the Gaussian blur. If I take that effect and if I apply it to this thing, it's gonna get applied to the whole thing, okay. So you can see, guys, I have applied the Gaussian blur now, right? And if I scrub my timeline through my project, you'll see that the Gaussian blur has been applied to all the layers which were there inside this, inside this pre-composition. And just in case, people, okay, you feel that, okay, there are some changes that I still need to make, okay, I'm gonna delete this effect which I applied. And if you just feel that, that if you have missed on something, and if you want to, go back to the layers which were there, in this pre-composition, hold on a shift key, guys, all right. I'm sorry, guys, just do a double click on this pre-composition, and you'll see that it goes and it opens in another composition, all right, in this new tab, and you'll see that you have all your layers still in properly. Now you can go and you can apply effects to them, and they will not be applied to all the layers, all right. So I can just go, I can increase the blurriness only of this layer, so only this layer gets blurred, and all my other layers are still proper, all right. So use these techniques, all right, when you are working in your project, all right, guys. And hope you guys like this tutorial. If you did, please subscribe me, guys, and like my video and share it on your Facebook, or share it on your social networking sites. And thank you for watching my video, guys. Please subscribe, right? Thank you.